So the topic that we are going to discuss today is error in measurements. In physics, we use instruments in order to measure various physical quantities. Like we use scale in order to measure the length. We use thermometer in order to measure the thermometer. Likewise, we use various instruments in order to measure various physical quantities. Now, when these quantities are measured, the exact true value cannot be measured. There is some uncertainty between the measured value and the true value of the physical quantity. Suppose we are measuring length. If we are measuring length, suppose this is a desk, we want to measure the length of this desk. What we do is we'll put a scale over here. There is the scale. Graduations are made on the surface of the scale like this. You know how to measure it. And so on. So, suppose you have to measure the length of this desk. This is the desk. So, initial reading should here be 0. And suppose what is the final reading here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Suppose it is 7 units. 7 units of length. Say it is 7 feet. It can be 7 feet. So we have measured using a scale. But actually there will be a difference between the true value and the measured value of this measurement. This difference is called error. So error is the difference between the true value and the measured value of a physical quantity. So it is basically an uncertainty between the measured value and the true value of the measurement. So we'll come across why this error occurs. We'll see there are several errors, different types of errors. First of all is constant errors. Constant errors. Now these errors occur in a particular direction. This error will be repeated in various measurements. So this is basically because of the improper calibration of the instrument. Suppose we have a thermometer. The thermometer. Suppose this is the column which measures the temperature. Say this is the mercury column which has risen over here. Suppose this measures the lower value and the upper value of the temperature. The lower value of the temperature is taken to be the melting temperature of ice, and the higher temperature is boiling point of steam, boiling point of water. So here what we do is, suppose we mark 0 at 0 degree centigrade like this. When we put ice over here, the mercury shifts over this place, and when there is higher temperature, that is at the temperature of the boiling water, it is 100 degrees centigrade, we have to mark it over here. It should be 100 degrees centigrade. So in between 0 degree and 100 degrees centigrade, we make 100 equal graduations like this. When these equal graduations are made like this, then each graduation will measure 1 degree centigrade. But however, suppose initial marking is not correct. If the manufacturer say he put 0 degree centigrade over here by mistake, he is not able to see the level of mercury at the time of melting of ice, and he puts here as 0 degree centigrade and say 100 degree centigrade is as it is. So there will be difference in markings. It will become shorter. So if you measure temperature through this thermometer, every time you will get difference. So this kind of errors are known as constant errors. This takes place in a particular direction. Suppose this is the scale. Now here suppose we mark 0, but suppose here calibration is not proper. Say it is 1 centimeter here. Say it is 2 centimeter here. Say 3 centimeter here. But suppose these markings are not accurate. Say it becomes 2 centimeter over here. So if you measure from here to here, this will not be exactly equal to 2 centimeter, but it will be shorter than 2 centimeter. So such type of errors are known as constant errors, and you will always get this difference whenever you measure a length of any object. So next one is systematic errors. Next is second one, that is systematic errors. Now this systematic errors, these are because of some known reasons. These are because of known reasons. And it is possible to eliminate those reasons. For example, we are doing an experiment with simple pendulum. There is a string, light string, and at the end of the string, there is a bob. And the other end is tied to the ceiling or a stand. Now this is made to oscillate, and it moves to and fro like this. It moves to and fro like this, and it will have a particular time period of oscillation. But however, if the conditions are not proper, suppose you have taken 25 centimeter like this, but because of your mistake, this is not exactly 25 centimeter, but there is a difference. Then this will give you an error, and this is because of a known reason, that is because of your mistake in measuring the length of the thread, and this can be eliminated by carefully measuring the length of the thread. So such type of errors are called systematic errors. Now these systematic errors are of several types. Let us see what are the various types of systematic errors. So the systematic, first one is the instrumental errors. Instrumental errors. This is because of defect in the instrument itself. Suppose you are using a simple pendulum. Suppose there is a simple pendulum. This is tied to a stand like this. Suppose this is shaking. In that case, it is quite possible that the time period of oscillation of the bob may change. And I can give many more examples where there is defect in instrument itself, because of which the error occurs. So we have seen what is instrumental errors, and next is personal errors. Personal errors. Now, this particular, as the name itself suggests, that this is because of personal mistakes while conducting the experiment. Suppose you are trying to measure the length of a desk. Suppose this is the desk and here is the scale. You are getting a marking over here. We have to look from the perpendicular to the scale. Your eye should be in such a direction that the line of sight should be perpendicular to the scale. But you are looking slightly from here, say from the left hand side. So it will appear as if this particular marking is coinciding with the end of the desk. So this is because of the personal error. Likewise, in various other instruments, because of the mistake of the experimenter, this kind of errors do occur. So this is known as personal errors. Now, apart from personal error, third one is the errors due to external sources. Next is error due to external sources. Errors due to external sources. Now suppose you are conducting an experiment with simple pendulum. This is the simple pendulum. You can take example from here itself. Now ideally there should be no wind. There should be no wind at all while conducting this experiment. Suppose fan is open here. So in the laboratory, the fan is open. Fan is put on. If the fan is put on, naturally the wind will strike this pendulum. When the wind will strike this pendulum, the time period of oscillation of the pendulum will be affected. So because of the external factors such as wind, pressure, temperature, etc., the measurement of the physical quantity may be inaccurate. So such type of error is known as error due to external sources. Now next is error due to internal sources. Error due to internal sources. Now while conducting the experiment, there may be mistake in the method by which we are conducting the experiment or the way we are conducting the experiment. Take for example a calorimeter. It is a calorimeter in which we study the heat exchangers. Calorimeter is simply a container of copper, and inside this container of copper we put some liquid, we can put some solid at different temperatures, and there is also a thermometer by which we can measure the temperature from outside. So this is covered with a lid, and holes are made so that we can insert thermometer inside this. So this is the thermometer, and there is one more hole through which we put the stirrer. The purpose of the stirrer is to mix the liquid inside. The liquid is inside. This is the stirrer, and when you move it up and down like this, the liquid will get mixed, and the temperature of the liquid and the mixture will become uniform, or it will become constant, and this temperature can be measured over here. This temperature can be measured using this thermometer. So while conducting this kind of experiment, we have to ensure that there is no loss of heat from any part. So in order that there is no loss of heat, we insulate this calorimeter. This has to be insulated. That is, normally wooden cover is used for this. When this wooden cover is used, there is this loss of heat is minimized. Similarly, the lid of this calorimeter is also made of wood or insulating material. So the loss of heat is also minimized, but it cannot be eliminated. It cannot be totally free of loss of heat. So there can be loss of heat through these holes also. So here also. So in ideal condition there should be no loss of heat, but however this experiment cannot be performed ideally. So such kind of errors arising due to this kind of problems is known as error due to internal sources. So next we will come to random errors. Next is random errors. Now while we conduct the experiment, we have to take several observations for the same measurement. Suppose we are measuring the diameter of a spherical bob. In order to measure the diameter of a spherical bob, we can turn this sphere at different positions and then measure the diameter. An instrument called vernier calipers is used in order to measure the diameter of the spherical bob. So this instrument is known as vernier calipers. So if you keep on turning like this, you will get different observations. Suppose you are getting different errors, different observations like this. Suppose the observations are A1, A2, A3. So you are taking n observations. Lastly, you are taking nth observation as An. Then you can find the mean of these observations, and that will give you an approximate value of the diameter of the spherical bob. So A mean is equal to A1 plus A2 and so on up to An divided by total number of observations. So this is the mean value of the observations. So this is all for today. Thank you.